Welcome to Inside EmbroideryStudio 2025 Animal Designs with Sal Lucchese. Today we're catching up with Sal Lucchese, the talented digitizer behind Wilcom's stunning animal designs featured in EmbroideryStudio 2025 branding. He is the founder of TEX Inc and a leading innovator in embroidery, with over 30 years of experience in embroidery, digitizing, sales and training. Sal is passionate about delivering high-quality, affordable solutions to the industry. Let's hear from Sal himself about his digitizing process, favourite tools and what it takes to transform a graphic into embroidery magic. Welcome, Sal. Tell us a little bit about your embroidery journey and how you got started.
I started in the embroidery sewing industry in 1989 out of high school. Shortly after that, moved to Chicago to work on industrial sewing machines. Moved up to the Melco embroidery systems division and sold Melco machines with Wilcom software. And shortly after that, in 1991, I started a sales office in St. Louis. And then in 1997, I opened up TEX Inc, my own business. And my business offers digitizing, stock designs, and all-in-one hooper, which is an embroidery hooping system. I've been a so-called self-proclaimed stitchaholic, love to digitize every day, love to stitch out designs every day, love to watch the machine sew, love to digitize. Pretty much will take anything to digitize, from a Mountain Dew can to a brochure to a magazine, you name it. I've digitized just about everything, and the most important thing is don't let people tell you you can't digitize something, because you can. You can pretty much digitize anything with artistic abilities. Obviously, the sewability is a big factor, and one of the most important parts of it is the software, which is Wilcom. I've been using Wilcom for over 30 years now. Love the software, it's amazing. Stitch quality is the most important part of the Wilcom software. The way it processes the stitches. Big factor is there are no hiccups. The machine does not stutter, causing problems in bird nesting and so on. So that's the big factor with using Wilcom software. I've used many other ones throughout the years. But Wilcom is hands down the best software in the industry.
Do you have a favourite animal from the series? One that was especially fun or challenging to digitize?
The ones that I like the most, actually I loved all of them. The elephant's pretty cool as far as with the motifs. Motif fills within certain areas, run stitches. At one point, if we're going to make it bigger, we'd do them into satin stitches. The monkey design pretty much just all fills, some blending textures. The lion, the same. Accordion spacing in a lot of areas to give it the blending and texturing, give it more of the three-dimensional look. But the one that I loved the most was the rhino. The rhino was just, it's a three-dimensional looking design. And when you basically see all the texturing and the fills and everything in the design, it just, one of those things about certain designs I just gravitate towards, realize that that's the design I want to do, and that's the one I want to make more three-dimensional and really build up upon it, and just really make, put more effort and time into something like that to give it that, that depth. I've done that on many other designs over the years as well, but this is definitely my favorite design.
How do you typically approach breaking down a graphic or a photo into an embroidery design?
I print it, which I'm kind of old school when it comes to stuff like that. I've been doing it for such a long time. I had to do it back years ago. Actually print it out, break down the segments and areas that I want it on the design. For this purpose, I'm going to actually show you on screen, which is with the rhino design. I'll zoom into certain areas of it. You can see in the Florentine area, I basically drew pink lines on there just to show you that that was an area was going to be a Florentine. Blending texturing, which is accordion spacing, you can see in yellow here.
I basically did that. So I break down the whole design that way. The blue thick line shows that everything in orange is going to be a run line or a satin line. Fills break down, run stitches, fill textures. All of that is usually done in my artwork. A lot of people don't do that. That's kind of definitely old school. That's how I would normally break down my designs on a daily basis. Most of the time I don't really even think about it. If I'm doing normal corporate logos, I just go ahead and pop it on the screen and I just start digitizing. It's kind of an afterthought. After doing it for 30 years, I kind of don't really even think about it. I just do it. And most design corporate logos, I'm done in 15, 20 minutes. The Rhino was my favorite design because of the detail in it. In this design, it took probably closer to 4 to 5 hours to actually create. If I was to go then stitch it out, come back, make edits and changes, knowing that you were going to be using it for marketing, it wasn't as crucial. But the big factor is the detail and the intricacy in the design and making sure everything looks three-dimensional the way I normally like to do on designs like this.
How does the size of the design and its intended use impact your digitizing approach?
Most people would look at that design and be very, very overwhelmed with it, thinking, oh my God, that can't be created, it's too detailed. Again, if we're doing it for a back of a jacket, let's say 10 inches, not a problem. If you're going to put that smaller on a hat or smaller on a shirt, there's going to be a problem in some areas. Basically, you look at these areas that are in the fills. Some run stitches are going to be on top of each other. There's going to be too many stitches. By the time you get done with the design is going to be somewhat bulletproof. At this point, you look at the design, dissect it, know the size you're doing it for ahead of time. Knowing this one's going to be a jacket back or this one's going to be for marketing brochure, because a lot of people are doing that nowadays just for basically a print purpose. You take a design like this, and we did talk about that earlier as far as how I lay out the design and the structure, as far as the Florentine areas, the accordion spacing, satin stitches, run stitches. I would normally, you could basically take your simple complex type fill, click on it, click on a couple areas around the design. You could get the premise of the shape of the design, if that's what you're looking for, and just go around the whole design and make it flat, which obviously that's going to be much simpler and much easier. Just to give you an idea, what I'm doing now is that there's the left mouse button is a straight button and the right mouse button is a curved button, and it basically shows you the nodes around the outside of the design. So what you're doing here is basically just getting close to it. Again, I can come back and edit it and make modifications. I'm just going to cut it off there and just go straight up across. Hit enter a couple times. It's going to basically fill in the shape. I can modify the shape by moving the nodes. I can modify the direction of the fill where I want. I can start my starting points, my ending points, or where I want it to be at any point. I can change the underlay of the design by double clicking on it. And on the right hand side, you'll see where the underlay, you can put an underlay. Let's say you want a double underlay underneath it. You can basically see how it generates then. Now it's going one direction. Now it's coming back with another direction. That's the double underlay. And then it comes with the top fill. There are so many different ways you can build upon the design. Again, this is a very complex design. This is not a 40, 50 minute design. This one is 4 to 5 hours minimum sew out time. Then you're going to go back and do it again. Make the modifications, changes, make the corrections that you want. But basically, taking a design like this and build upon it three-dimensional is my key to look at. Normal, everyday corporate type logos don't have the complexity that you see here. This is more the creativity side of it. For me, I like to basically take the design, put it on screen. Again, mentioning I'm kind of old school. I had to print out designs back years ago and dissect it that way, starting to learn to do more of it on screen, so that it eliminates paper and waste. But for the most part, your creativity is all in the eye of the beholder. The nice thing is you can create whatever you may want. Somebody might not like it, but if you're doing it for yourself, then you get the feeling of satisfaction of the design being done the way you wanted it. If you're doing it for somebody, obviously you're going to have to get them to proof it. They're going to have to look at it, send it to the customer, make sure they like it, sew it out, get back to you. So there's a long, lengthy process in that part of it. But for the most part, yeah, creating designs is very satisfying. I love it. I've been doing it for years. It's become second nature.
Which stitch types did you use to create these majestic animals, and which is your favorite?
Well, if you look at this design, the rhino design, you'll see there's a lot of Florentine fill. Here's a couple of areas that I'll zoom into now. The Florentine fill, which is more of a curved wavy type fill. Cordon spacing I used a lot throughout the design, basically to give it the shadowing and shading and blending. Obviously in this design, it basically has every stitch type you can imagine in it. I did even a couple of little areas with some hand stitching, run stitches, satin stitches, blending, texturing. Building it three-dimensional is the key on a design like this. May not be as practical if you're going to do this on something lightweight. You wouldn't want to use as many stitches like this in multiple layers. You'd want to level it out to one or two layers, knowing this was going to be used as far as for marketing, advertising, just to show on display. Building that three-dimensional is real important in the design. So yeah, using variety of stitch types is important in a design. Mine, accordion spacing, is probably the number one.
What do you love most about digitizing?
The creativity part of it is real important. Being able to see the finished product. The funniest part about that is I probably get emails from customers once a month, if that, saying, oh, here's an apron that you digitized the design. It looks beautiful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. The problem is I don't see enough of it, but that is really the key factor to all of it, to make it kind of exciting, is to see the end product. The creativity side of it is exciting because every design is different and the end result is a good quality design. With the Wilcom software, it pretty much, with stitch quality, writes itself. It's an amazing software, works great. Stitch quality is always good. A lot of the key factors in the design is just the creativity side of it. And the Wilcom gives you the flexibility to be creative and add the different stitches and different types and textures and blends, and does everything. So hands down, Wilcom, best in the industry.
What advice would you give digitizers looking to improve their work?
The most important thing I think for other digitizers to realize is don't look at what other people have done. Create something yourself and know the ins and outs of what works and what doesn't work. That is probably the key. Making sure what's called push-pull comp too. The only way you're going to understand push-pull comp is understand fabrics, and also watch the embroidery machine sew, because then you'll have a better understanding of exactly what it's going to do and what direction it's going to go and which direction it will pull. So those are big key factors too. Probably if I had one thing to tell you, that the most important part is just watch the machine sew. That would be the key to all of it. As a technician, for many years, I had to understand whether or not the machine was causing the problems or it was actually the design. So I had to pretty much dissect things on the fly, realizing, oh, this design had some problems in it, was causing the machine to malfunction, or it was the machine itself causing the problem. So understanding that part of the business and digitizing is really a key for other digitizers to understand.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what you offer through TEX Inc. and of course your affordable stock designs?
We basically have been creating products since 1996. I've been in the industry over 30 years. Services, embroidery, digitizing, as well as art services too, vector art services. I do both. I'm a CorelDRAW user, so I use CorelDRAW for the vectors, and for embroidery I use the Wilcom software. At the very top you'll see basically where you have the 3 different sites between. A little bit of a hyperlink. You can click on any one of those objects. That'll take you to our all-in-one hooper, which is our embroidery hooping system. Hooping made easy. A lot of information on that. Buying it, learning, the Learning Center. Learning Center takes you through basically all the specifics and videos about the product, what it does. If you actually go to the next one, which is Dollar Design Club, all of our stock designs. All of our designs are all created on a Wilcom system. You can see all of our free designs that are on here. Scroll back to the main page. We actually have buy one, get one free as far as our packs going right now. They're $9.99. You get the second pack free. You can scroll down through. We've got a ton of designs, about 5,000 designs on here. If you have any specific questions, always scroll back over to the TEX Inc. website. You can get quotes through there. There are also learning resources as well. We have blog posts that we do every couple of months, basically helping embroiders out. We've been doing it, again, like I said, for 30 years. We have a lot of insight to help out embroiders and screen printers. We appreciate your business, and if you have any questions, let us know.
Thank you, Sal, for sharing your creative process and insights with us. As a special thank you, Sal is providing the Wilcom community a selection of his sports-themed embroidery design bundle, free to download. Just follow the links below.